Megha and Anju, can around 5 students can join the leave here and join YouTube because some of the office bearers are pending to join. So I have. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Advise some of our students or anybody voluntarily may leave this and join the Zoom because some of the office bearers need to be inside Zoom.
Okay, sir, we'll inform them.
So I request everybody to cooperate. We can accommodate only 100 here. It's cross 100. And I request everybody to share that YouTube link to your friends.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Hello, whether Manju teacher has joined, secretary? Yeah.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Now you can, I think, keep your mic off. I think Krishna Kumar sir has to join, right? Chairman is it to join. Chief guest has joined. The honoree has already joined very early. Narayan sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, sir. Okay, we'll begin shortly. If the chairman is also joined, I think we can immediately start it. Ansha has joined.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Then only chairman remains. So after that, we can start the recording of the session also. So Megha, how is the YouTube? I think people can manage that, right?
Yes, sir, I'll manage it.
Okay, thank you. For other colleges also, every IT volunteers, please join the YouTube now. Gopika teacher could join or not? Let me look it. Okay, teacher is there. Megha, can you request some more students to leave Zoom and join YouTube because our chief guest has disconnected. I think chairman is also waiting. 2-3 can.
Yes, sir, I've informed a few. They'll be moving out shortly.
Okay. Once Aravind and Krishna Kumar sir are in, we can start, I think. Request all the future joinees to be in YouTube only, right? Megha, chairman, and I think the chief guest, they need to join. I think we will push. Okay, Aravind has joined. One more seat we require, Megha, one or two.
Yes, sir. I think it would be best if some of you could voluntarily join our YouTube stream. Certificates will be provided for all those who have registered. So please cooperate to accommodate our chief guest too. So it would be really good if some of you could voluntarily. The YouTube link, the link to the stream has been added in the chat, so you may make use of it.
Let me see whether Krishnakumar sir has joined.
It's 100 again.
It's 100 again.
We request the attendees to please join the stream. Certificates will be provided to all those who have registered.
And individual college attendance will be managed by the concerned staff in charge. So no worries, please join the YouTube. That is also official only. I request, I mean, one or two should go to YouTube, I think. Then only Krishnakumar sir, chairman can join. Then we can begin, I think.
Sure.
Anybody, voluntarily, please.
Sir, now the count is 97.
Okay, enough. Then I think we will wait for Krishnakumar sir. He is facing some difficulties with his Zoom login or something. We are at 99 and that one seat is for the chairman. Now again it became 100. I don't know whether we have. No. Okay.
Attendees who are joining, please switch to the YouTube stream. The link is posted in the chat. You may make use of it.
Oh, he has not joined. I think technical issues here. We should at least start at 5:50, right?
No, no problem, sir. We can wait.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, anytime, sir.
So he will be joining in a minute. So just 1 or 2 minutes. Okay.
Sure.
He has joined. Hello, Krishnamar sir, can you unmute?
Okay.
Okay. Then I think we will start.
Good evening, everyone. Very sorry because my system had some problem and the Zoom was not accepting my password, etc. I'll have to rejoin again, sign in again on Zoom and all that. So it taken some time. Sorry for that. Sorry for the inconvenience for all of you. We will start the meeting. Okay. We can proceed, Rajesh.
Sir, shall we start?
Yeah, please. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Today is a milestone in the history of IETE. It is the proud privilege of IET Kochi Center and IET SF unit of Model Engineering College to host the 67th IET Foundation Day celebration 2020. And we are immensely excited to invite you all to this celebration. Now I request Honorable C. Krishna Kumar, Chairman of IET Kochi Center, to formally announce the commencement of the program and to declare the meeting officially open.
Okay, thank you. Already late, so we can start the meeting and declaring the meeting has started. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for officially announcing the commencement of the program. I am extremely delighted to take this opportunity to invite Ms. Anshia Eshak, Honorable Treasurer of IET Kochi Center, to deliver the welcome speech. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Anju. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Respected Chief Guest, Honorable Chairman, IET Kochi Center, Sri Krishna Kumar Sir, Honorable Secretary, Honorable Vice Chairman, senior members, present and past executive members, IET members, ISF coordinators, and my dear students. As Anju has rightly said, the 67th IET Foundation Day celebration has just commenced. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome you all to this occasion. We have with us Sri Aravind Warrior, the head of the HR department of Rapid Value Solutions. He is here to present a webinar on emerging technologies for effective management of the pandemic. This indeed is a very crucial time in all our lives. We have studied about pandemics, but never thought we will have an opportunity to experience it. Management in the right direction is the need of the hour. We are sure we will be benefited from today's session. On behalf of IET Kochi Center and all those present here, I extend to you, sir, a very hearty welcome.
Sure.
Today, we are also blessed with the presence of a very senior IET member, Sri M.N. Narayanan, sir. Sir has joined IET as a member and has continued to support the organization for the past 45 years. It is a great privilege to welcome you, sir, to today's program. I would also like to extend a welcome to Sri C. Krishna Kumar, sir, the chairman of IETE Kochi Center, Dr. R. Gobika Kumari, ma'am, past chairperson of IETE Kochi Center, Sri M.B. Rajesh, sir, vice chair IETE Kochi, Srimati Manju Bhaskar, secretary IETE Kochi Center, and all the present and past executive members, the senior members, ISF coordinators, and all the students. I also welcome Smita, our office support to the function. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a blessed time today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your generous words of wisdom. We consider it as a great honor to have with us Honorable Chairman of IETE Kochi Center, Mr. C. Krishna Kumar, sir. Sir, you hardly need any introduction. The man of distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas. An idol of knowledge, experience, and inspiration to all of us. Sir, I humbly invite you to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you. Once again, good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Glad to see all of you here today when we are celebrating our 67th birthday of IETE. Our institution was established in the year 1953 as a professional organization with members from communication field, engineering field only. And therefore, its initial name was Institution of Telecommunication Engineers. We had members from telecom field and defense, then all India radio, etc. Those members were in limited number. Now, at that time, electronics was then, it has not emerged as an engineering subject, and it was known as only radio engineering, etc. Therefore, the name was limited to Institution of Telecommunication Engineers. Thereafter, with the advancement of technology and subsequent changes happened in all fields, the institution also moved with the changes, and the name was changed to Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers. Because we are all members here, everyone knows about it, but I'm not elaborating on to that. IETE has now 63 centers all over the country, having nearly 1.25 lakhs professional members from various electronics communication field, as well as from IT, computer science, and other related fields, electrical and other related fields. IETE is regularly conducting various national conference, seminar, workshops, technical talks, exhibition, etc. through all these centers for improving technical and professional competence for its members and students as well, and at the same time to achieve career advancement. Now, coming back to today's program, every year IETE select a theme or subject relevant to the prevailing socio-economic or technological situations and demand of the country. So, for discussion, and this will be discussed all over the country through our centers. So in this pandemic days, IETE has chosen the theme as emerging technology for effective management of the pandemic. And this subject will be dealt in detail by our guest speaker. So I'm not going into details of that. And we can wait to listen to Sri Arvind Varia. So another important event on this day, what we are doing is, we will be honoring or remembering our founders and the senior fellow members, and we will be honoring them by some small means. Last year also we have honored 2 of such senior members. So this year we have selected one senior member, already his name is announced, Mr. Sri M.N. Narayanan, and his profile will be explained afterwards as we approach the progress. Now, I shall read out the message from the President IETE. The present president of Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, IETE, is Professor Dr. J.W. Buckle. He is the director in charge of School of Engineering and Applied Science, University of Mumbai, as well as he is the principal of Shivaji Jondale College of Engineering, Dombivli, Bombay. He is an MTech graduate and having a doctorate in computer engineering, having more than about 32 years experience in industry as well as academia. So just now I'll read out the message. Okay. The message from Professor Dr. J.W. Beckel, MTech PhD, President. The message. Quote. The Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, IETE, celebrates its Foundation Day every year on 2nd of November at the headquarters and all its centers across the country. Foundation Day is a very special to the entire IETE fraternity, as this is a chance to reflect not only on the beginnings of the institution and its founders, but also on the significant development since the institution's inception. It is a day to celebrate our history and revisit and reconnect with the continuing journey of this institution. On this significant day, we memorize and express our deepest honor to the founding father for their committed, resilient, and dedicated endeavors to make their vision turn into a reality and pledge to take their efforts towards the development of the institution further with our earnest hard work. Friends, as you all know, the outbreak of the novel coronavirus has created an unprecedented situation around the world. This is the first viral outbreak of this nature and scale in our lifetime. Considering the present situation, we have decided to celebrate our 67th Foundation Day on the theme Emerging Technologies for Effective Management of the Pandemic on 2nd of November 2020. The emerging technologies are playing a crucial role in disaster management agencies, in the disaster management. Agencies can quickly get precise positions of locations to undertake relief and rehabilitation efforts accordingly. Similar smartphone-based application software is developed and used to identify the movement of people and resource, and even to determine if they are in contact with an infected individual. The software is used to model and optimize the supply chain with the latest algorithms. However, this needs an upgraded telecommunication infrastructure to offer 5G functionality. Molecular technologies with supercomputing facilities are trying to deliver the vaccine as early as possible. The COVID-19 pandemic has to be fought on the war level with the latest technological innovations. I appeal to all IETE centers to celebrate the 67th Foundation Day with vigor and enthusiasm. I am sanguine that it will provide an effective platform to scientists and engineers to discuss, deliberate, understand, educate, and spread awareness on how the digital technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, molecular biology, Internet of Things, cloud computing, blockchain, additive manufacturing, 5G, and many more of such technologies are effectively improving the efficiency of the global efforts in epidemic monitoring, virus tracking, prevention, control, treatment, resource allocation, and vaccine development. That is message, Professor Dr. J.W. Beckel. Okay. Now, before I conclude, I just want to add something. This being the first general meeting with all our corporate members, ISF staff coordinators, and the students after the new executive committee has taken charge. So as chairman, I would request to all of you for your continued support and cooperation to enhance our technical activities and to raise the Cochin Center to higher level among other IET centers. Thank you, and wish you all a safe, healthy, and peaceful days ahead. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for devoting your precious time and endowing us with your words of wisdom and experience. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the honoring ceremony of Mr. M. Narayan. Sri M. Narayan is one of the most respected senior fellow members of IET. His association with IET started in 1975 and is now completing a glorious 45-year bond with us. He is a graduate in physics and passed the graduateship exam of IET with flying colors. Now Sri M. Narayan is a coveted associate member of the institution. Talking about his professional journey, Mr. M. Narayan started his career as a staff engineer at DCM Data Products in 1983, and then there was no stopping. He has the experience of working with various companies. He truly grew in his career, expanding across the globe and flourished in the communications field. He has attended various international telecommunications seminars in different parts of the world, including TM Forum and Submarines Network World in Singapore, where Sir was an official delegate representing the Oman Telecommunications Company. A real genius in the field, he is a sea of knowledge. A veteran with an experience of nearly half a decade. After his long, successful career, Sir chose to retire in 2014, and here he's with us at the 67th Foundation Day celebration of IET. We are indeed proud to have him today. Now we have amidst us an eminent personality who has already established her name and fame in this field. Dr. R. Gopika Kumari, ex-chairperson of IET Kochi Center, to do the honors. Madam, on behalf of everyone present here, I welcome you and request you to do the honors and grace the occasion with your words of wisdom. I also request Mr. M. Narayan to come forward and accept the honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, all. And I'm very happy to be the part of this 67th IET Annual Foundation Day. As we are all celebrating this one every year. This year also, we are in the same day, that is on November 2nd, we are celebrating this particular function. And I am very happy to honor this particular, our senior fellow who was part of our executive committee in the last term also. So Mr. M.N. Narayanan, who is a distinguished fellow now. See, he was part of us, part of the committee last term also. So I know him very well, and I'm very happy that I am here to honor this particular fellow member who is part of our committee now also. So this year, the M.N. Narayanan, Mr. M.N. Narayanan, who is already introduced to all of you, I'm very happy to express this particular duty. Or so already we know that it is already late, so I am not taking much of the time. I will be directly coming to my duty, and I hereby declare that the Mr. M.N. Narayanan is honored by IET on this 67th Annual Foundation Day celebration 2020. Congratulations to Mr. M.N. Narayanan, and please accept our ownership, and you can accept the memento which we will be delivering to you. So thank you, and I congratulate in rising to this level of becoming the honored fellow of IETE. Thank you, thank you, thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your wonderful words. Now it's time to invite Mr. M.N. Narayan. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you. The rich experiences, the vast knowledge, and the success story of your life. Sir, please.
Good evening, all.
Evening.
Hope you are able to hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Respected Chairman, IET Kochi Center, and Chief Guest Sri Arvind Warrior, and all invitees. I wish to thank IETE and Dr. Gopika Kumari for honoring me on the occasion of the IET Foundation Day 2020 celebrations. As a graduate engineer of IET, it has been a privilege to be part of IET throughout my professional life. I would like to conclude by thanking all members of IET Kochi Center for the cooperation extended to me during my tenure as a member of the Executive Committee and the ISF unit of MCE on this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now, to offer felicitation, I request Mr. Saji Sem, staff in charge of ISF unit and also the pillar of IET NVC. Sir, please. Saji, sir.
I think he has got some well, AICT meeting was going on. He may be unable to join. He couldn't join, I think.
Okay, sir. Then we'll move with the next item. With that, we move on to the next item. We are very pleased to have with us an epitome of enthusiasm, adorning various positions, a person bubbling with energy, which is none other than our very own Dr. Rajesh Shamvi, Vice Chairman of IET Kochi Center and Associate Professor of AC Department, MEC. I cordially invite Dr. Rajesh Shamvi sir to share his views and also to give us insights about the event and the guest of honor. Sir, please.
Thank you. Senior members and members at large, student volunteers of IETE, staff in charges of various ISF units. This is an amazingly good meeting with 150 plus participants both in Zoom and this YouTube channel. Thus, the Foundation Day celebration has become phenomenal, I think, this year. Previously, when we were with physical meeting, it was very less number of people that they could attend because our IET office is situated at the center of the Kochi city. I think this has become an advantage for us this time to honor the senior member Engineer M.N. Narayanan and to celebrate the Foundation Day. I would like to congratulate all the ISF units, their staff in charges, and the student volunteers. This time, the Model Engineering College unit is assisting us. Next time, I think this will be going to be the practice for IET in future also. So, 10-wise, I request every ISF unit to assist and host various meaningful events. That can be a motivation that we could take along with this IET celebrations. Once again, my congratulations to the entire team of IET volunteers, both seniors and student members. Thank you very much. Wishing you all happy IET Day.
Thank you, sir.
Anju, your mic is off.
I was muted, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words. The much awaited time is here. Let's kickstart our flagship event. I now take this opportunity to invite our chief guest of the day, Mr. Arvind Warrior, a versatile genius, Midas touch. He's currently working as the head of HR department, Rapid Value Systems. It is indeed our pleasure to have you with us on this Foundation Day celebrations. Now I hand over the platform to our chief guest. Sir, please.
Okay. Very good evening. First and foremost, let me just thank Narayan sir, Rajesh sir, and Krishnamurti sir for this wonderful this one platform. Basically, I really need to thank them because it's more than your honor; it's my honor to be with great dreamers, doers, and leaders. I am not going to say anything less than that. It's actually a fantastic moment in my lifetime because Rajesh sir, I've been interacting with him for a long time. But then, more than anything, this is this. I don't know how to express my words. It's a great delight for me to interact with the great minds out there. When Krishamar sir was reading out everything, so I was wondering why did I make my slides? So I had shared my slides with Rajesh sir yesterday. Now it looks like all great minds, all genius minds know everything what I'm going to speak. So I'm wondering what should I do now? Said and done, this is not going to be a monologue. I can take a lot of questions. And believe me, I'm talking to well-versed dreamers, doers, and leaders who are actually who are planning to create, who will, not planning, who will create an impact in days to come in the technology field. So mind me if my knowledge is less. I am here to learn, steal ideas from you. So that's my selfish motive. And thanks to Rajesh sir, Krishna sir, and everyone out there for giving me this fantastic platform to interact with great minds. So with this, let me start. What do you think? I'm just going to post it. As I said, I'm going to learn. So you can just put your comments out there. Nothing. I mean, you can put whatever you have in your mind also. So what do you think this whole pandemic has led to? What is it? What exactly has it led to? Any thoughts? I am sure everyone knows what I'm going to speak. All this 5G, everything I've put in. Now that's my worry. But then I want everyone to do a different kind of thought process, which is very important here. What did this whole pandemic lead to? What did it lead to? Any thoughts? Looks like all engineers won't speak to a management guy. Huh? Is it like that? I'm a poor HR, okay, don't worry. Just that I put in my glass because I'm getting old, so don't worry about that. So you all can say whatever you have in your mind, because one important lesson which you're going to learn right now is whatever you have in your mind, speak out. So you all are right. So you all are brilliant minds. You're great leaders. I'll repeat this term quite often. You're dreamers, doers, and leaders of tomorrow. Nothing less. LOT, leaders of tomorrow. So just go ahead and just put up your thoughts there in the chat. What exactly has this pandemic led to? What do you think it has led to? It has really led to a fantastic thing. What exactly? Any thoughts? I can see some names. It looks like I can't see major names, but then at least Anju's face is visible. Mega disappeared all of a sudden when I started asking questions. So yeah, any thoughts around that? No worries. I'm not going to ask any names, but then any thought, what exactly did this pandemic led to? And it's fantastic. It's all to do with your so-called technology only. So can someone tell me what exactly did this whole set of pandemic did to us, the so-called human mankind? What exactly did it do? Any thoughts?
Sir, as a student, I think.
Anju, I'll give you a chocolate next time, and in case Rajesh sir invites me. Okay? It's a promise. Yeah.
So, as a student, I think that this COVID pandemic time has been a blessing in disguise.
Fantastic.
Like, as a student, I could learn a lot of new stuff, a lot of new technologies. So actually, in a way, I benefited.
Super. So can I just say jargon? Can I use a jargon which everyone knows? It's actually reframing our thoughts. It's actually redesigning ourselves. It is reinitiating our new self. And I'm sorry I have stolen all these things from McKinsey and all those kind of websites, but then I thought I'll just put that in process because this is a fantastic 67th year. And that is what every year comes with new learnings, new opportunity, and new disruptions. I always, whenever I have to go and give gyan and lectures to a lot of MBA students and also engineering students, I always tell everything. Every day comes with LOD, new learnings, new opportunities, and new disruptions. Oh, sorry. Looks like there is a disruption there.
I kindly
There's a
request
Malayalam disruption there. Good.
themselves.
Some family disruption is happening. Okay. Either they're asking me to shut up or something like that. I don't know. Oh, good. So that's that. See the way the technology is giving way to. So what exactly this whole pandemic has led to is we need to really reframe ourselves and really need to have a new set of lenses to look up on things. And I am a firm believer engineers make a lot of difference in life. Your engineering so-called subject, let it be any kind of telecommunications, mechanical, anything. You people are blessed with something called an integrative thinking. You can relate a lot of things from a macro perspective and connect it to the micro perspective. You can connect the forest to the trees, and that is very much required. And trust me, as Anju rightly said, this whole pandemic, if you really look up to say called January, February, March timeframe, if you can just go back or rewind your hard disk for some time, great minds would have learned a lot of things. Great minds would have unlearned a lot of things. Great minds would have relearned a lot of things. And that is what is required. More than any kind of technology, that is what is required. Now, let me just, Anju, what is the timeline by which I should make my mouth shut? Any torture would you be giving like this or something like that?
We started late, so maybe.
So I'm lucky. I can give my yarn for a long time. Okay. So, okay. Do stop me. Okay. I have that problem. Rajesh sir is aware of that. So yeah. So said and done. Very important thing is, let me just before bringing the emerging technologies, let me just tell you something which I have been doing a lot of FDPs around for engineering department as well as the MBA departments. Very important thing is the right aspect of bringing design thinking here. Design thinking is nothing, okay, but I thought that is very need of the hour, and I'm sure everyone knows it. If you look at the whole scenario, or if you look up or you dissect the so-called COVID situation, what exactly great technologies or whatever new things which you see even in the form of apps or any kind of engineering, what they have done is they have been trying to do something called empathy. They have started putting their eyes in the ground. They have started putting their ears on the ground. And that is very important for engineers. Application of whatever you have learned, if you cannot put it in the ground, you are not going to be there. You look at Elon Musk, what he says is you can learn anything from YouTube. And he is right. What he says is you just need to have 3 things, which I'll touch upon in my last slide. You just need to have 3 pieces of life, and then you can make history wherever is possible. And that's what he says about disruption. And that is why he is called a disruptive leader. Now, very important thing is, most of us engineers, we need to have something very important thing is not fully think from the mind. You guys are really brilliant. You guys come out with a fantastic thing. But heart is very, very important. And that's why it is called empathy in the ground. You got to listen to what exactly is happening in the so-called with the people or with the hospitals. If you look at most of the people were saying you cannot have everything is going to shut down. Right now, if you look at even mask, you look it from a Louis Vuitton to Carrera to Tommy Hilfiger, they also have different kind of masks and which they have charged so much. So that means every problem can be converted into an opportunity. But for that, you need to have an empathy on the ground. And designers, leaders whom I'm addressing this session, you got to have that. You cannot use always your rational thought to come out with a solution. You got to hear and listen to things, because sometimes people might speak from their mind always, from their heart. No, sorry, not from their mind. They might speak from your heart. And as engineers, it becomes very, very important in coming years. You got to think from your heart. Think from your heart. I'm not wrong here, because the world is moving to something called experience. They are not looking for a service or a product. Why do people invest so much in an Apple phone? They're okay to spend 2 lakhs. Why? It's all about experience. And we are living in an experience generation. The so-called millennials and Generation Z leaders whom I'm addressing in this session, they all are looking for experience, nothing less. Every day they want experience. You buy a pen, you buy a mobile phone, you buy a watch. They want to, it's not just about showcasing your neighbor, but they want an experience from it. Because the world is moving to the gratification or the satisfaction levels have come down, the timelines have come down. So world is moving towards the experience part. And that's why empathy falls the first place. Once you have empathy, then you start doing the most important thing, ideation. You all are great minds. And that's why IET this kind of institutions are there. And I'm so proud to say that when you have this kind of institutions, what they do is they bring in something called the collaborative thinking. Integrative thinking happens when you start asking questions. And most important thing for engineers, never stop 2 things in life, Q and C, questioning and curiosity. Be a baby always till your deathbed. Ask questions And in India, that is missing. I'm sorry if this one is getting recorded also, I don't mind, but then I've been doing a lot of case studies also. So what I always tell my students is never go for answer, ask questions. This is what Ivy business schools or so-called schools outside they do. It is important to ask questions. If someone says that asking questions will make me dumb, no, it will make you more intelligent. That means you're giving some work to this creative juices out here. Questioning. Second is be as curious. Why not connect this? Why not do that? Why not do this? Why not ask things which is not possible? And that's why you would have seen Airbnb and so-called Uber were only disruptions because of this. They asked why not, and they did it. So ideation is not about sitting, doing brainstorming by putting post-its. No, it can happen by yourself also. And this is the right time to do it. As Anju said, I want everyone to sit back today, think over what you can do. And believe me or not, the world is full of opportunities. It's just a matter of reframing your thoughts. You'll see ample of things. And that is one thing which is really, I always ask. And that is why during my interviews, I always ask engineers C++, I ask them data encapsulation. So sometimes one of the students in one of the colleges told me, sir, this is an HR interview, please don't ask me. I said, why? You cannot say after 4 years, I don't know what is data encapsulation. You cannot say what is pointers. So sometimes my wife also fights with me. Why are you asking these kind of questions? I said, no. If a person has to know everything, that's a bashing for me, looks like. Okay, yeah. So very important thing is ideation starts by connecting the dots. You cannot forget your past and then connect with ideation. You need to take your past, you need to take what you have learned in the first year and then connect it. And I am speaking to leaders. Next is basically about designing. Design whatever is possible with pen, pencil, and whatever you have at your home. And designing doesn't require any kind of laboratory per se. Experiments can be anything. And right now I'm talking to leaders who have got fantastic laptops with them. They have all kind of tools with them. Start doing it. Sometimes you might have to burn your midnight oil. Sometimes it's worth it. And believe me, some experiments are really difficult, but it is really worth trying it. At least it's like in, what do you say, Edison. At least 99 times you fail, one time you will definitely succeed. Now comes the most important thing, prototyping. You got to prototype it. And I'm sure I'm talking to engineers who already know this cycle of from this empathy to prototyping, but then most of the times I have never seen students doing it. You have a lot of ways to experiment it. There are a lot of sites to experiment it. Have you really done it? If not, IBM itself has got its own website wherein they have some areas where you can put your ML codes and they will tell you the outcomes of that. AI codes and all those things. It's free. It's just a matter of being curious. You can find out whatever you want. Last but not the least, test it in the environment, and then you will see the real exciting things coming up. So this whole cycle of design thinking, I would request everyone to do it. And it's not about emerging technologies per se, which would really create a revolution. It's about the disruption which starts from the empathy side. And as engineers in this right day, I would request everyone to have that mindset of asking questions and be as curious as possible. Because great minds always have done only these two things. If you look at Elon Musk, it's not that he has done his course from an MIT or an Harvard, but now he has got he's running his own parallel NASA. So I always adore him. He's my role model, but I always feel, and what he says is right. If you want to learn anything, everything is there. And especially thanks to Google, it also helps you in filling your assignments. It helps you in copying, pasting everything. So thanks, even code, I've seen my own people doing it. So sometimes I fight with them. I fight with my own team members. Why are you doing that? So I say, no, don't do it. Everything, it's about giving some work to this brain. So we are an information overload kind of generation, but be rest assured, sometimes we have to give a lot of work to this. Otherwise, we'll not be able to create a mark. We'll not be able to create a disruption. With this, I'll start my slides, which is quite easy. I'm talking to great minds, so great geniuses. So you just need to connect the dots. And probably if you ask me too much of questions, I'll only ask Anju or Rajesh sir or someone else to help me. Okay. So, sir, I would request you to help me in driving the slides.
Yeah,
Sure.
please try to share your screen. I have made you the co-host. Otherwise, we'll see.
So 1 minute.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
great.
Sure. Forgot. Okay. So yes, so this is not a never-ending kind of thing. There's a spiral thing. So there's a book from Tom Peters. He's supposed to be an authoritarian from MIT and McKinsey. So what he says is, every problem will generate another set of problems. That's how life is. So that's why you've seen this. It's a spiral thing. So any kind of emerging technologies you have, it solves one issue, but then it leads to another issue. That's a fact of life. So which we have to adjust to. This slide, any guesses what is this slide? Not something big. It is purely an abstract art. But what exactly I want to tell you is, everywhere you have only one thing now, data. And that is a new oil. It is expensive than petrol. So you look at Amazon, the 4 companies, the Amazons, the Microsofts, the Googles, and the LinkedIns of the world, or sorry, the Facebooks of the world, they earn money only because of this. And this is the new oil. And if you look at any kind of companies, look at Zoom's valuation. It is more than a company called, it is more than Shell, or I forgot the company. It is more than a petrol company now. Imagine it just came in because of it just tried to capture this opportunity in disguise. And now it's supposed to be the corporate valuation for Zoom is some billions. So that's what happens. So that means as long we're able to capitalize on data or the information, we have the edge. And this is what you leaders should always try to do it. If someone is talking, if someone is moving, can we just create something out of that? And I'm sure every whatever apps you see either in App Store or in Google, this one Play Store, this is only because of opportunity which they banked because of the main thing called data. And that is something which engineers or leaders whom I'm addressing should always look at. It's not about theories or the so-called models which you do matters. How you can apply it in real life, that matters. And I would request everyone in the session to do some extra projects other than what you have in your real-time things. Let's assume right now, as Anju was saying, in the right time, you can just go and check a lot of stuff in EDX, Udemy, or Coursera, where you can see a lot of R tools, Python tools, kind of courses. Take it. It always adds to your profile. It enriches your profile. It starts making you think more than a bachelor. It starts making you think like a leader. And that is what is required by the industry also. Emerging technologies. So as Krishna sir was rightly reading, I don't know what happened. I have not stolen his thing, but then looks like everything has come there, like what he was reading from the secretary sir. So very important thing is artificial intelligence. It is really doing a phenomenal thing during the COVID in terms of thermal imaging and computer vision and all those things. Artificial intelligence by itself is not just about having robots in place. It's about how do you crunch the whole set of data, how you can read the data sets, how you can arrive at a pattern and then start indicating whether you have any kind of predictive or prescriptive kind of models to forecast problems before they arise. And I am sure this COVID, when you see the entire history of the people or the genetic issues, AI has been there. Next, cloud. It's really AWS is the leading stuff there, followed by Azure and any kind of things. You see any kind of modeling or any kind of, probably you also would have seen it, any kind of data sets when you have to run it, it runs into so many gigabytes of this one. And at this point of time, the most important thing is how do you ensure your so-called cloud computing or the so-called cloud is enhanced? How do you have the right cloud in place, the right architecture? If you look at any kind of organization, especially the companies like this so-called Novo Nordisk or Novartis or Johnson & Johnson's, if you look at, they are right now, even starting from the small, any kind of small, medical companies, anything, any pharma companies, any hospitals, they right now are looking for this kind of computing. How do you increase the speed? How do you make the decisions on the basis of the data which is stored in the cloud? Next, big data. I don't have anything to say. Everything is right now big data. How do you how do you make a information, knowledge, or insight from the so-called unstructured data, which is there in the big data? And that is a big challenge. And that's an opportunity in disguise. So many unstructured data. How do you populate using so-called R or any kind of tools to create a value out of it? And that is not an easy thing because unstructured data has no count. It comes in a huge number, and that is one challenge which is thrown up to all engineers. This is something which is really coming up. I happen to do one of the sessions with one of my professors from Harvard. So what he was saying is, right now, they using the design thinking approach, what they have done is basically, how do you try to, though the numbers are really high, but what they have tried to do is, how do you use apps to ensure people don't have, they maintain the social distancing and do everything through video calls. Or probably if there is some kind of diagnosis is required, probably you cannot do it, but at least the person that you don't have to go to any kind of hospitals, or you don't have to go to any kind of medical centers. What they do is they'll say, are these kind of symptoms? Can you just show us a lot of things? And when they do it, they make their own kind of conclusions, and probably this is how the whole kind of things gets treated. And this is very, very important at this point of time when our numbers are so huge and when we don't have vaccines. Telemedicines and this one is really booming up. You have a lot of apps, and this is one area which is really going to come up also, because soon after, say, 2021, once things get back to norm, again, you will see things, people would still maintain social distancing, people would still wear masks, and that point of time, hospitals are not going to open up like that. I was always under the impression blockchain or in Bitcoin is all about money. Probably I was totally mistaken when I read some books and some kind of materials from so-called McKinsey and BCG kind of consulting companies, where they said blockchain, the blocks of so-called informations can be transferred. It can be anything and everything. Imagine a company like Walmart, Tesco, Target are using this. Imagine companies like pharma companies like Johnson & Johnson, they are using it. So it's really a new norm in the supply chain market, where you ensure your public data is really sent in blocks and it is in a safe hand. It is not something where there is any kind of issues with regard to privacy. I think the way algorithm is being designed, the crypto norms and all those things, it is very safe and secure. And I was totally shaken by this thought process, wherein for me, at least, blockchain was fully to do with numbers, or sorry, bitcoins and all those things. So blockchain has really revolutionized the whole frame of thought. As rightly said by Sir, 5G is a new thing, and probably I'm sure people who have watched or would have seen the release of Apple 12, it is supporting the 5G network. And this is very, very important, not from a country standpoint, but from the current pandemic standpoint. If you really want data to be spreaded, if you really want to work on numerous kind of countless kind of algorithms and transactions, if you don't have the network supporting it, it's going to be very disastrous. I'll tell you my case itself. When I had to work on comp review exercise, we announced our compensation review, which I'm really proud. We had really struggled in terms of doing a lot of things in the tool versus the Excel sheet. Sometimes the network here, in spite I have Jio and Airtel, it is pathetic. And believe me, I'm not trying to blame any organizations per se here, but the network has to be very, very important, because you're doing with humans. You cannot have any kind of error rate there. And that's why having 5G kind of networking would enhance the better quality in terms of our deliverables, rightly, timely kind of deliverables. Next, IoT again. IoT is interconnected. I was initially, I was thinking IoT is only to do with manufacturing because we have clients there. So, but then recently what I thought I was told is, hospitals to hospitals, pharma companies to pharma companies, lot of government agencies, they're all connected with the devices. What exactly? And for this to happen, you need to, again, going back to the previous slide, your connections has to be stable. The way the processing is done, it has to be reliable. The way it has been processed, it should be really fast. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Drones, I don't know, at least in India, I don't see it, but I don't know about it. Probably engineers can tell me better. At least in India, I don't see drones happening, but in US, it's really, because when you should have this kind of social distancing, and you should not have any kind of meeting with the patient or any kind of this one, the drones are something which would be coming up in future. Especially you look at any kind of things, now drones are really picking up. Last but not the least, it's about robots. Robots are really picking up in terms of bringing, wherein if you have any kind of hazardous kind of things, you cannot afford to have people there. Right now, if you look at, probably this is something which I got my stats from Nissan. wherein Nissan, when we had this kind of this one, they had a plan to roll out the entire production under robotic things in Chennai. I don't know still it is right, but then at least they did it. It's not to remove a lot of people, or it is not to make to increase the unemployment, but it was really put in place to ensure we curb the so-called COVID. Now, what does this slide has to do with all these things? As I said, I am talking to leaders of tomorrow. If you really need to really go up in all these 9 things, whatever I said, what exactly is required is really need to understand the purpose. Because most of the engineers, they're very hardworking, they're very passionate. But I am really curious. This is something which I've seen is basically you need to define your purpose. And every opportunity, every kind of problem is your purpose. And that is the first P which is there. And when you have a strong purpose, it is driven by the passion. You need to have a passion to create a mark. And it is not of having, say, all German cars at your house. Sorry, it is not about getting 1,000 crores or maybe making a lot of money at your bank. It's about the impact. The so-called engineering world is all about impact, and your deliverables, your contributions matter. And I'll make it very clear, dreamers, doers, and leaders, it's all about contribution. Tomorrow, you cannot be like management. With a lot of due respect to management, you are thinking tanks, your think tank. So what is expected from you is to have high fueled passion. When you have a purpose, and your purpose should be to create and mark like an Elon Musk kind of thing, what he did. It is not restricted to only SpaceX, Tesla, and all those things, Hyperloop or something. It's beyond that. And purpose with a high fuel passion to create a mark will make a difference. Now, what is the third P? Most of the students when I have to interact, they say he or she is really hardworking. But unless and until you know your purpose, it is fueled by the right passion, and then only your perseverance would go in total. And most of the times, if these 3 are aligned, you can really make a difference. So thank you. With this, I'll conclude. I can take questions. And thank you very much for this great opportunity and platform. I don't know, I did justice, but it was great for me at least. I could do my best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the very informative session. I'm sure by now all of us are familiar with the new emerging technologies that are used to tackle the pandemic, like artificial intelligence, blockchains, and IoT. I'm sure I've got a takeaway, which is the Q&C method you just told.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot, sir, for your illuminating presence. Any questions, audience?
I would like to ask one question.
Sure.
In this pandemic world, as a HR man, how would you carry out the performance evaluation of your colleagues and staff members because of the work from home environment? So how will you do an actual, you see, if you want to implement a balanced scorecard without human interaction in a physical world, will you be able to carry out a meaningful performance evaluation?
Sure. Sir, may I know your name, please?
M.N. Narayan.
Narayan, sir. Oh, thank you. So Narayan, sir, you put me in trouble, but then I'll still answer your question. We just got out from our appraisal, and that's when we rolled out our comp review exercise last week. We still do. I'll be very honest. You can check this with a lot of companies. What they've said is the performance pre-COVID, the performance post-COVID has been phenomenally great. It is around, say, 62% more. So why? Because I'll tell you the reason. With a lot of, I know I'm a restricted crowd. Now, this is because people don't have any other choice now. Once theaters open, I don't know whether 62 will become 26. I'm not sure about that. But I'll tell you one important thing is right now, sir, since we don't have much entertainment or any kind of this one, our performance, at least for my organization, and I have talked to a couple of great leaders outside, what they said is, it is fantastic. Now, said and done, in this pandemic, the most important thing, what you rightly raised is, as a leader, most important thing is proactive communication. And every organization, let it be a client or anything, we have fixed deliverables. Like X number of code has to be delivered, X number of quality checks has to be there, number of function has to be there, or X number of macros or APIs have to be done. So the fixed metrics are always there. And what we do is basically through a collaborative, or either through Teams or Zoom meetings or anything, we always do that meetings. And that's why still the agile model, you have your so-called stand-up meetings and all those things. So once you have that kind of mechanisms, proactive communication in place, you will still see performance happening. But if you see, some people are reluctant to do that. Some, because the so-called Zoom, there is something, I forgot the name. There is something called Zoom depression also, probably after seeing so many times, after people are fed up now after to call someone, or people are fed up to see videos. But then still, when you have proactive communication, the performance levels are maintained. At least for us, I see that, sir. But most of the times, people don't do that. And during this pandemic session, one important thing I forgot to tell you is, as an HR, is we, and a couple of organizations, we have a lot of counseling sessions. That's again thanks to technology, wherein we have people calling our associates, asking them, how are you feeling? Not much questions, so that becomes a problem. We don't do that. So basically, at least as an HR, I firmly believe when you are talking to someone, that at least is a great thing, sir. And when you see your manager is still asking you performance, you still feel accountable. And as a team, you are responsible, but per se, you are accountable. And that is something which we have been doing it. And touch wood, things have been fine so far. Now, I don't know once theaters start or park starts, what would happen. But still, I am very confident. As long we have to work from home, things are really good. And performance, sir, the numbers are always there. It will not come down. So metrics are evaluated on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, at least in an agile kind of model. And we have been thankful that way. I don't know whether, sir, I confused you or I convinced you, sir.
No, it's quite easy to understand, because I was a part of a team which, when we implemented the balanced scorecard in our organization. So setting up the KPIs, and I had to do the entire first run for the balanced scorecard for the HR department as a member of the strategic planning department. So it was very interesting. So that's why I was thinking, what will be the new scenario? Because there is no real world interaction. Everything is through a Zoom meeting and things like that.
Naren sir, I don't know whether I can just add, with the permission of others in the session. Still, the customer perspective, financial perspective, learning perspective, and operation perspective, we definitely tag it. As an HR, I really love doing it. And I think unless and until we look at it, we'll not be, even the lag and lead indicators, we definitely look at it. And that is very important for us, because if we just move our eyes from that numbers, probably things will again go, because we definitely, one side is basically pure the people side, where we definitely talk to them, try to address their concerns, including from the BCP factors, arranging laptops on time, arranging, even we went to an extent where we wanted them to have uninterrupted power supply and all those things. So we had some provisions set up for that. So I think people perspective, that learning segment is definitely there, but then other three perspectives is something which management always looks at: the customer, the financial, and the operations. We look at that, sir.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Aravind, I have a question. Wonderful. It was wonderful, first of all. This question is actually, I got in YouTube from Abdul Manaf. It's not a question. He was responding to your initial, I mean, stages of your speech. Is there any paradigm shift that is going to happen to this digitization? Anyway, we are talking about digitization in total. So he wants to discuss a topic of major or paradigm shift to digitization. So what do you feel about that?
Fantastic question. Actually, there was a joke in Facebook, who made you change something? So current COVID made you change. So there was some kind of sarcasm going around that. So there is, sir, major shift is going to happen. If you look at major of the companies which never wanted to get into the digital space, now you look at from the Paytms to anything for that matter, even from the payment mode, they have been disrupted. And there is a paradigm shift in terms of processing and re-engineering their current line of activity also. Earlier, the thought was, chalo, we'll just manage things. No. Now, since you have moved to this one scenario, when you don't have much people interaction, it becomes more important. You really work on your metrics. You work on your processes side. where you can make, wherever you have to make something digitalized, how you can do it. Now, if you look at from a digital side also, if you look at a lot of assignments or a lot of projects have come to companies like us, TCS and all those companies. So digital has been a major shift because of this pandemic. Even the Zoom itself is a digital, I mean, it's a paradigm shift because no one expected Zoom kind of companies. They would have survived, but still see the valuation. ExxonMobil, sorry, I got the name. It is valuation of an Zoom kind of company is more than ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil survives in petrol, imagine. So that means the digital shift is there and it is going to be more. You will see more of digital currencies. You will see blockchain coming up. You will see the 5Gs coming up. So imagine Apple has always, or Apple has grabbed the 5G kind of this one movement. So I'm seeing a lot of companies are going to really capitalize on this kind of digital era at this point of time. And I would request all my dreamers and doers and leaders in this session to really work on your digital skills. Let it be anything. Have that mind shift to really learn, unlearn, and relearn. Let it be from C++ to anything. But try to learn a lot of things because now it is going to be really digital. You will have to be digitally native kind of people. I don't know, sir, whether I've answered or again I confused.
I think Manav is happy with that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Arvind Varia sir, for
Thank you.
answering to all our queries
you.
very briefly.
It's my honor.
So,
Enjoy.
are there any more questions? Okay, seeing that. So, on behalf of the entire ITSF family, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you
you,
very
sir.
much for this opportunity.
Okay. Dear friends, with that, we are nearing the end of the program. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Manju Bhaskar, Honorable Secretary of IETE Kochi Center and Vice Principal of MGM College, to deliver the vote of thanks and officially adjourn the 67th Foundation Day celebrations.
And before that, I just, excuse me, Sri Arvind Varia, your sharing, can you close so that we can see the face of the host?
Can you share? You want me to close?
Yeah,
Yeah, your email is getting screen share.
you can stop sharing your screen.
I think we can stop the screen sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, correct.
Sorry.
Manju Bhaskar ma'am?
Good evening all. Am I audible?
Ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, thank you. Respected Chairman IETE Kochi Center, Sri Krishna Kumar, Chief Guest of the Day, Sri Aravind Varia, Head HR Department, Rapid Value Solutions, Senior Fellow Member and Honorary Sri M.N. Narayanan, Immediate Past Chairperson Dr. Gopika Kumari, Vice Chairman Dr. M.V. Rajesh, Treasurer Ansia Ishaq, IET Executive Committee members, senior members of IET present for the meeting, Sri Sajish M, ISF Staff Coordinator of Model Engineering College, all staff coordinators of ISF from various colleges, other members present for the meeting from various organizations, students from various colleges, staff members of IET Kochi Center. So today we came to the end of today's session for 67th IET Foundation Day Celebrations 2020. No doubt, today's session became a precise platform for students, researchers, academicians, and people from industry to think, discuss, and to share the most recent challenges we are facing, the pandemic, and how we could overcome this with technology. So it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. Our chairman, Sri C. Krishna Kumar, is a very enthusiastic person and is a standing support for each and every matter in our office. I am expressing our appreciation and gratitude to your continued dedication with proper guidance. On behalf of IET Kochi Center and all supporting team, and on my own behalf, I extend a very hearty thanks to him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's a great honor to have our chief guest and resource person, Sri Aravind Varia, Head HR Department, Rapid Value Solutions with us. We are really enlightened with your knowledge in the area presented today, the emerging technologies for effective management of pandemic, with the emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, big data, and blockchain, and several other technologies that he described. The excellent presentation make the webinar interesting and thought-provoking. On behalf of all present in this meeting, I extend you, sir, a heartfelt thanks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Today, we have with us our immediate past chairperson, Dr. Gopika Kumari. She is a person with us who motivates us and works together, contributing to IETE fraternity. Ma'am, on behalf of IETE, I thank you for your support and presence.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sri M.N. Narayanan, senior fellow member who is honored and felicitated today, needs no introduction. Sir, on behalf of IETE Kochi Center, I express my heartfelt thanks for your contributions to IETE family.
Thank you.
Dr. M.V. Rajesh, Vice Chairman IETE Kochi Center, is a person who extends his supports for each and every venture of IETE Kochi Center. His keen observation and timely advice is inevitable for our successful journey. I thank him for his proper guidance throughout. I wish to express my thanks to Professor Ansia Isahar, Treasurer, for her constant support. Thank you. Mr. Sajesh M., Staff Coordinator of Model Engineering College, Mekha Mariam Shaji, Chairperson of ISF Model Engineering College, all the volunteers of ISF Model Engineering College, Ms. Anju Joseph, who done a wonderful job on this day for organizing this event along with IETE. On behalf of IETE Kochi Center, I extend a heartfelt thanks from the bottom of my heart for their unflinching support and coordination. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Again, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the senior IETE members, Dr. T.K. Mani, Dr. Suresh Nair, all the executive committee members, all the attendees from various organizations who graced the occasion with their presence. And also extend my thanks to all staff coordinators of ISF from various colleges. Students from various colleges are present today. On behalf of IETE Kochi Center, I extend a hearty thanks to each one of them. I also take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Smita of IETE Kochi Center office for her support and dedication. Once again, I thank each one of you for your support and presence today. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you to each and every one of you who made this program a grand success.
Thank you, Anju. Thanks all.
Thank you, Manju. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Aravind, Manju,
Thank you, sir.
and all other volunteers.
Thank you very
Dear
much.
audience, please make sure that you fill the form put in the chat session to await your participation certificate.
Thank you.
So with your permission, shall I leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the permission of the chair, I am closing the meeting.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Rajesh, for all the wonderful things you have done.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir. Thank you,
Rajesh.
sir.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you, Mr. Arvind Mariar.
Thank
We'll
you,
be in contact afterwards. Okay.
Anytime, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Anju, you had a wonderful show today. Thank you very much from
Thanks a
IETE,
lot,
Thank you,
Rajesh.
sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Mekha, and all other volunteers as well.
Thank you.
Students from other colleges, everybody. Narayanan sir, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Narayan.
Thank you.
And if Anil Ambat is listening, thanks, Mr. Anil. He is listening from Dubai. Anil Ambat.
So the celebration
was, I
became
think, yes, sir.
international. Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Are you there?
Hello.
Anil, are you there still? I think he has left. Okay.
I'm here, Krishna Kumar. Thank you for your recognition.
Okay. I cannot see your face. That is why I was just calling out.
No, I'm not supposed to use the camera here in the oil field.
Oh, that is it. Okay. No problem. I can hear your voice well. Okay. Thank you for joining.
Anyway, the program was very good. I congratulate all the all the people behind this. It was well conducted, I would say.
Thank you.
Okay.
And because I joined late for my Zoom problem, I could not see the faces of each one of you when you joined. So afterwards, only a few faces I can see in my screen. So I did not remember the faces of others. Sorry for not calling you out. Thanks everyone for your association and joining for this meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, Rajesh.
Thank
I
you.
will leave. Okay.
So with your permission, I am closing this.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye.
Fine. Thank
It's
you.
well done.
Right. Thank you, teacher.
Okay.